Hello English 101 students, this is your video for Module 5. We only have a few weeks left to go. We have Module 5 this week, and after that you only have 2 more modules to go until the end of this semester. And at this point things will start getting a little hectic. That's sort of the nature of the end of this semester, as if it weren't hectic already. But do make sure that you're pacing yourself as necessary to keep up with the increasing amount of workload as we near the end of this semester. So on Monday, October 8th at 8 a.m., all of your Blackboard material was released with the exception of this video, which should be up soon. I'm making it right now, obviously, so I'm hoping that by 1 p.m. on Monday, you'll have your video. Originally, our discussion prompts were due, discussion responses were due on Wednesdays, but there was some scheduling conflicts with work. So I moved those to Thursdays moving forward. So this module all the way to the end of this semester will be due Thursdays at 11:59 p.m. So you'll note here that part A of your discussion will be due on Thursday. Then Friday, part B of your discussion will be due. You will also have to turn in the draft and peer review part A. Then Sunday the 14th, you will have your assignments, assignment 4 A and B, both due at 11:59 p.m. And then the final part B of the draft and peer review will be due also on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Again, it's kind of a lot of work, so make sure you're pacing yourself as necessary. In terms of the readings this week, you have some more listening to do than reading. You'll need to listen to at least 2 episodes of the Grammar Girl podcast to complete discussion 5. But I really hope you enjoy this. I've recently started getting into podcasts. They're really an interesting way for us to think about writing and composition and putting argument and ideas together. You may or may not love Grammar Girl. That's up to you, but this is a good chance to explore some other ones. My favorite right now is, and this sounds crazy, but it's called My Favorite Murder. It's a true crime comedy, which I know sounds weird, but it's definitely worth checking out. But even if you don't listen to that, I hope this sparks some sort of interest in how we put together argument off paper, because we're always thinking about writing as something that we do on paper, but it's also something we do speaking, and it's what's happening on podcasts right now especially. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And then you'll also need to do a little reading of each other's essays. Here it says read 2 of your peers' drafts. We only have 2 people in the class, so you'll be reading each other's drafts for part B of the draft and peer review assignment. When reviewing your peers' drafts, be sure to visit Room for Debate and skim over the debates they selected as that topic for their essays. Make sure you're also reviewing the prompt guidelines and rubric for the essay assignment, and just go through the rest of this essay-related material as we've been doing all semester long. Your primary readings, I had in mind more readings to do this semester, but things got so messy with the hurricane and got so complicated that we're going to go ahead and just review what we've already read, so that way we have a really solid understanding of that for our essays. My apologies if we didn't get to use the book as much as you wanted to, or as I wanted you to, but this has been definitely an interesting semester. So we're just going to do the best that we can. And then finally, of course, make sure you're reviewing the APA guidelines. I'll let you read the discussion prompt on your own time. I'm sure by now you're probably getting a sense of what that process is like. It's really the draft and peer review that I want to talk about for a moment here. So here it says, this course encourages students to approach writing as a process rather than a product. And so students will submit a comprehensive rough draft of the essay for peer review. After submitting a rough draft and receiving feedback, students will enact a revision of their writing, thereby demonstrating an awareness of the ongoing nature of the writing process. And this is really important, the ongoing nature of the writing process. This peer review assignment isn't really just checking a box and being done with it. This is really part of the process. Writing is a process, and it's not linear. You don't get from point A, the beginning of your paper, to point B, the end of your paper, in a single linear line or path. The path of writing and the writing process, it's not even circular. It's sort of chaotic a little bit. It's a little bit like a roller coaster. You go up and you go down, then you go upside down, then you go right, and then you go left. And at some point after that whole whirlwind of experience, you do end up at your final destination, but there's a lot of twists and turns along the way. And so in terms of writing, that might mean planning and making an outline, drafting, revising, then making a new outline, then redrafting and revising, then having a friend read your essay, and then having another friend read your essay. And then depending on how things are going, maybe you start all over again or head back to the revision process. So it's not a straight line. It's more of a whirlwind, to say the least. But at some point, you do get from point A to point B. It's just not a straight path. So for this assignment here on the section A portion, the first part of this assignment requires students to attach a comprehensive rough draft of the essay and craft responses to prompts 1 through 3 below. I'll show you a little bit more about this in a second. So what is the topic of your essay and why have you chosen this topic? These are your the prompts. Number 2, what elements of this essay have you struggled with, formatting, organization, thesis statement, etc.? Number 3, list at least 3 things you would like your peer to focus on while he or she reviews your paper. Remember that we are all our own editors, which means that we are responsible for our own spelling, grammar, APA, formatting concerns, and other technical elements of writing. So ask your peers for help with content-related concerns, such as specific questions about the thesis, organization, conclusion, etc. So let me show you this really quickly. So for part A, you'll click in here to the draft and peer review discussion board. I'm not sure what your end of this looks like, but if it looks like mine, you'll scroll down until you get to the draft and peer review. And then let me fix this for you while I'm making this video. Goodness gracious, it's a good thing I'm doing this. And now that it's fixed, you'll be able to actually do this. I'm sorry about that. And so you'll go into the draft and peer review board, click in here, then you'll hit create thread. You know this so far. When you scroll down here, this is your content editor. This is where you'll answer prompts 1 through 3. And then you can attach your essay as a Word document here. So 1 through 3 answers go here, and you can attach your essay here. So you'll take care of that. And then you'll move into part B, which will be due on Sunday. So by Friday, you have to have your draft and peer review up, and then by Sunday, part B will be due. So part B. The second part of this assignment requires students to provide feedback to at least 2 other students based on the following. And again, there's only 2 of you, so for each other. Your peers' responses to prompts 1 through 3. So you'll have to go through and look to see what your classmate said to questions 1 through 3 and respond to those. And then you also will need to complete the peer editing worksheet. So you can click this version here. There's a PDF version here, which you're welcome to use, but if you prefer to type your answers right in the worksheet, that's not a great option. So this will be your Word document version. You'll just open this up and wait. And here's your peer editing worksheet. So complete this worksheet with detailed specific feedback to ensure you've provided a comprehensive peer review to your partner. Keep in mind these words, quote, remember that your partner is a human being. Your job is neither to impress him or her with your cleverness, nor earn his or her affection with false praise. What the writer needs is an honest, specific reaction with constructive suggestions, which are not directions, but simply suggestions. Everything you do should support the writer during the writer's search for a subject and voice, end quote. You may complete your evaluation using this worksheet, but when you submit your peer review on Blackboard, be sure to copy and paste your finished evaluation into the Blackboard content editor. So with that in mind, if you can use this worksheet and save it as an attachment, but you'll also need to copy and paste it into the content editor. I'm just getting a little picky about this because I want to make sure everyone knows how to use that content editor, because I do need everyone to know how to use that when you turn in your final paper. So it's good to kind of mess it up now if it's going to happen than later. Also, this makes it easier for the writer to review his or her feedback informally, say like on a break at work, before getting down to brass tacks and starting on the final revision. You may also attach this file, but only in addition to posting your feedback directly into the Blackboard content editor. Okay, read the essay quickly and get the gist, then read the paper carefully and complete the worksheet. Don't provide basic yes or no answers to questions. Instead, make specific detailed suggestions that will help the writer revise the paper effectively. So you'll move through all these questions on this worksheet. And then again, you can attach this if you'd like, but you do have to copy and paste it into the content editor. We'll hop back over here. So the guidelines are down here. I will let you read these guidelines on your own time, but please make sure that you are aware of the expectations, the rubrics here too. I use these guidelines to grade your work, which means you should be familiar with them. Keep in mind, this peer review is also worth 100 points, which is 10% of your grade. So this is a really easy way for you to get an A on an assignment. And it's also a really easy way for you to not get an A on an assignment. So please make sure you're familiar with the expectations and just do what's asked of you. And again, give your partner some really good feedback. The more you help them, the better your partner will do, but also the better you will do. The best writers know how to look at other people's writing. So this is important for both of you. Okay. Moving on. So I have two assignments for us in this module. So one, it will be a little bit longer. The other one, not so much. I'm trying to make these as easy as possible because we have a lot of work to do this module. So for this assignment, we will examine your current writing process. I'll let you watch this video on your own time here. It's a clever little animation video that has some great ideas about how the writing process functions. It even has some times where the speaker asks you to pause the video and answer some questions. I encourage you to answer those questions because it'll give you a lot of insight about your own writing. Then, after watching the video, please answer the following questions. What is your current writing process? List out each step with a brief explanation of what you do in that phase. It's fine if you repeat a few steps. Also keep in mind that I'm not expecting a particular process. Be honest. What do you do when you are assigned a piece of writing? You really can't answer this question incorrectly. It just needs to be answered. Everyone's process will look very, very different. So don't feel like it has to look a certain way. Number 2, what assumptions do you have about your own writing? In other words, what do you believe are your strengths? What areas do you think you have room for refinement? Number 3, what assumptions do you have about your selected topic? Are those assumptions accurate? In what way can you ensure your assumptions are supported in your writing? So sometimes when we're working with material, we make assumptions about it. And sometimes our assumptions are correct and sometimes they are wrong. Either way, if we're not doing the research and if we're not really examining those assumptions, they will end up in our writing. So we have to look at our assumptions and take the ones that are inaccurate out and put the assumptions that are correct in, then support it with research. So it's or examples. So it's very important that you know what your assumptions are. What are you bringing to the table of this topic? Number 4, what distracts you from writing? How can you alleviate this as you write your essay? And number 5, what environment supports your best work? How can you create that environment as you write your essay? So expectations, all questions must be answered in at least 150 words per question. I'm not going to be a major stickler about the 150 words per question, but what I don't want is just like yeah, I can't have the TV on, right? Give me some thoughtful responses. The exception here is question 1. This can be, oops, sorry about that. This can be in list form, okay? Each answer must have at least, that should say, 1 supporting quote from the text. I'm sorry, that's a mistake. You don't need to have any supporting quotes. I'll take that out for you. Answers must be thoughtful and formally articulated, and students should be familiar with the below rubric. So I'm going to fix this right now so that way you know I'm actually taking care of it. I'm not sure what I was thinking when I put that in there. I probably was not thinking. Imagine it. Okay. Your expectations are fixed. And then here's your grading rubric. Also, I mentioned here, please type your content directly into the content editor. Again, I just want to make sure you know how to do this before your paper is due. And then your final assignment is actually a quiz. We have not done any quizzes, but I wanted to make sure we're reviewing the information we learned this semester, but I don't want to put any more writing on you this semester, this module. So for the quiz, you'll just click here. I'll show you that in a second, and it'll take you into the quiz. But all the instructions are right here. Rather than an assignment, in this module, we will have a cumulative quiz. It is designed to gauge your command of key terms, concepts, and ideas covered in assigned readings throughout the semester. To prepare for the quiz, complete all assigned readings for the semester. That's why it's important to review everything. For a complete overview of this semester's assigned readings, see the readings item in each week's learning module. This quiz will be worth 50 points just like a regular assignment. It contains 25 questions, 2 points each. Upon submission of the quiz, questions will be evaluated on a right or wrong basis, and you'll receive instant feedback. So if you got it right or wrong, it will tell you what the answer is, and it will tell you where to find it in your reading material. You will be allowed 2 attempts to complete the quiz to the best of your ability, and Blackboard will record the highest grade. So really, this is an open book test. So get all your readings out. Open up all the prezzies that we've had this semester, any PowerPoints, anything that was assigned for you to read and review this semester in the reading section of our modules. Just get them ready to go because you can use them during your quiz. So it's open book and you get 2 chances to take it. So if you click here, Module 5 quiz, it'll take you right in. You'll just hit begin and bada bing, bada boom. That's all you do. You'll just take your quiz. And then that's it for this module. So next week, we'll have a little less to do next week because we don't have a peer review and we'll only have 1 assignment for the module. And then the final week, again, might be a little busier. So make sure you're carving out the time that you need to get the work done. And I am looking forward to reading your drafts. Have a wonderful day. If you have questions, please let me know and we will talk soon.